In Urdu, basically, if it's half one or like say 1:30, they have a technical term for it, which is abhi der baj raha hai, which means like it's half one now. But instead of saying half one, they say der, which is like the technical word for half one. I used to ask my teachers and my parents, why do we say der or dhai, which is half one and half two, instead of just saying 1:30 or 2:30? To be honest, since this day, like, no one has been able to answer me that. And that's why, even when I'm speaking Urdu, instead of saying der or dhai, I still say half one and half two. Until someone gives me an adequate explanation behind why that is the case, I'm not going to conform to that. आप कैसी हैं माँ?
मैं ठीक हूँ और मैं ज़ैन की अम्मी हूँ और ये मेरा बेटा है ज़ैन, जिसका नाम है ज़ैन फ़िलासफ़र. हम लोग इसको ज़ैन फ़िलासफ़र बोलते हैं और ये हम लोगों से
Here is my mom. Her name is Saliha.
बताती थी कि सूरज इसलिए निकलता है दिन में तो नहीं तो
When I was a kid, I was the kind of kid who was constantly asking questions about everything.
Do you fish ever feel thirsty?
ये क्या बच्चा मुझसे सवालात पूछता है?
To my teachers, to my parents, to my brother, to my friends.
How do I know I'm not dreaming?
I was just super curious and maybe a bit annoying.
Why am I right-handed when my brother is left-handed? Where does the world end? Why do dogs bark but cats meow?
रात में निकलना चाहिए, ये मुझसे इतने सवाल क्यों पूछता है? हम लोग कहीं भी जाते थे, हमें
I think that's why my family and my friends used to call me the why child.
Where do we go when we die? Why do I ask so many questions? Why does everything have to have a beginning?
My name is Zain. I spent the first half of my life in Karachi, Pakistan. Karachi was very hot, dusty and alive.
When my body's sweating, is that my muscles crying?
It's so loud and chaos and hectic there.
Why doesn't the sun come out at night?
As soon as you walk out in Karachi, you can just hear the horns everywhere. There is a lot of motorbikes, there's rickshaws. The buses in Pakistan, like, I don't know how to describe it, but they're so colourful and artistic. The conductor would just be hanging outside, screaming the different locations they're going. One of the best things about Karachi was the food there, especially the street food. Chicken karahi. Oof, just thinking about it.
Why does sun have such a high brightness? Why is yellow yellow? Why is water wet?
Sugar cane as well, mangoes and fresh fruit, and they would literally just make it right on the spot. Aloo le lo, teen dabbe wale. We had a very nice house in Karachi. I would hear my friends shouting my name outside the window.
Zain, bahar aao. Zain, jaldi.
And then we would have a massive cricket match, outside in the compound. If you hit the ball too hard, we'd end up breaking someone's window, and then we'd all get told off. We'd all try running away. We'd hear the sound of Maghrib, which is one of the prayers, and that kind of resembles when it's getting dark.
Why can't I see God? Do I have free will? Does every question need to have an answer?
We'd all go in, because it was so dusty, the first thing we'd have to do is, wash our feet, wash our face. It's a thing which I haven't done for 14 years. When I was 12 years old, we took a plane to the UK for a holiday. We arrived in 2008, with my family, my mom, dad, my brother. We came on a visit visa, and we were really looking forward to it because this was just another holiday to come and see our family in the UK. One of the things I first noticed was that there was no dust around, whereas in Karachi it was just so dusty. And because I've got like very sensitive skin, I just used to be sneezing all the time. And when I came to the UK, I was just like breathing in and out, and I was like, oh wow, the air feels way fresher. And then I just remembered seeing black cabs, some things which we used to see on the TV when we were in Pakistan. Getting on the black cab, going to my dad's sister, surprising her. Like, we went to her house, stayed with her, seeing my cousins. It was just fun. It was like, just as a kid, as a 12-year-old, being in a novel environment, being in the UK, having fun with my cousins, light-hearted stuff. Then one day I woke up. It was this bright summer day. When I went downstairs, looking forward to having toast and British tea, I realized that something was off, and my dad was just like, I wanted to tell you one thing. As a very curious child, if there is some mystery, I just always get very enthusiastic, and I was like, yeah, sure, tell me. My dad was just like, we won't be going back to Pakistan because it's not safe for us to go back. My dad was this kind, hardworking, very generous person, but he was like a reserved brown dad. There wasn't much chat about like our feelings when, he told me this. I'd say like, even at that moment, I couldn't grasp, what that meant. My dad knew that he needed to find a solicitor to process a claim in UK. When my dad, made the call to the solicitor spoke to him in such a nice tone, so friendly, spoke to him in Urdu. Everything's gonna be okay, just trust me, it's fine, don't stress about it. That solicitor was referred to my dad by one of his friends, and my dad was just so relieved after that there's a route, things are going to be okay. He asked my dad for like a big sum of money, I'd say more than 2k from what I remember, and that was literally everything we had. And my dad just gathered everything, paid him that money, and then he told my dad, they're like, what, now you have to wait, I'm going to send you a letter. We received this letter from him, and we have submitted the application for you guys, and you and your kids and your wife will get your status, and then if there's any problem, contact me. When you're going through such a traumatic, stressful time, and your reality, everything is just shaken. We didn't even know, from what I remember, what asylum was, all these different distinctions and nuances of humanitarian protection, asylum. What is an asylum seeker? What is a refugee? What does reporting mean? What are my rights? We just knew that we needed to submit an application. Am I allowed to work? And our life was in danger, our safety was threatened. Am I allowed to drive? And we won't be able to go back. Am I allowed to travel? That's all we knew. Am I allowed to vote? Who am I? Where will I live? What's my place in this world? Is there a purpose to suffering? What is the purpose of living? Who deserves protection? Why is this happening to me, Who am I? Am I a good refugee? Am I a good asylum seeker? Am I worthy? Do I deserve this? And from then on, that is when we went on this 7-year journey, 7+ year journey.
I've seen something on the social media, on Facebook yesterday or day before yesterday. It was about refugees, So there was a picture of someone holding a baby. His one foot was on a boat, the other foot was on the shore. And he was holding a baby. Literally, he can lose the baby any time on the sea. So even watching that photo, some people, they were like commenting like, we don't anymore of you guys go somewhere else.
Should he apologise for saying a bunch of migrants?
He said a bunch of migrants. I don't know that's his vocabulary.
Islamic State is infiltrating some of the people who are coming across on the boats.
After that, Britain's quite a popular destination. The idea they come because we're in the EU and somehow they wouldn't want to come if we weren't in the EU.
I'd say we just kind of like just got on with life because we didn't have many options, to be honest. You know, moving into a new school and, you know, like getting accustomed to the different ways of education here, you know, like how classes work, settling into a new home, and, you know, like, who am I, what's my place in this world.
Fundamental issues at play here. Firstly, there have been 3 different terms used for these people: asylum seeker, refugee and migrant.
How we sort out the genuine refugees from people who've joined the flood from other countries like Albania or Pakistan.
What do you know about asylum seekers? What don't you know? Can I help you out?
You know, I'm scared of dogs. Everybody knows that. I saw this very small dog, and I was running like mad.
And these people are desperate to get to the UK.
And they're being taken from dreadful camps.
Such desperate people.
And Emily was there. I'll be your bodyguard. I'll be your bodyguard.
The reason they are getting on boats and trying to come to Europe is because Germany, another country, said, come on in, you're welcome.
No, I went to beekeeping school.
Okay, I want you to tell me the story about going to beekeeping school.
I don't know what got into me. I was pregnant actually with Katrina.
My favorite writer is Maxim Gorky. We have to speak about Dostoevsky. If we talk about Russian literature, Voltaire, classic writers, they have a way of like portraying things which I like, and the kind of language they use.
I just run because it keeps me fit, and as I said, you feel the freedom, you know. But let me tell you, I have a lot of admirers.
I felt like, oh my God, who is he? I just want to talk to him.
In the First World War, we took many thousands more than we're considering now.
There is a rich and vast culture of science in South American countries. One of my favorite is De que vuelan, vuelan. I don't believe in witches, but if they fly, they fly.
You're assuming that migrants are coming in to steal jobs.
No, I'm not.
Migrants.
Is it working yet?
Yeah, fantastico.
Do you want to be on the microphone? You've already been on the microphone, haven't you?
Yes. No, you guys.
Okay, go on then. Okay, so the questions are, what is your name?
Sunny.
And how old are you?
3.
3? Yes. Do you have anything that you want to tell people listening to the recording?
Yes.
What is that then?
I want to go to the shop and I want a new bag. So don't go put your mouth on it. Molly, well, I must you to be.
High five. Great, you're both little radio producers now. High five.
How we sort out the genuine refugees.
What is the face of an asylum seeker? There is no face of an asylum, because you could be an asylum seeker. It's misinformation, but it's been sold for so long that it's engraved into the psyche. So we have some ways to go to re-educate.
I think this notion of, being a good refugee or a good asylum seeker and why people deserve safety, it can become very toxic very fast. In the coverage of Ukrainian crisis, sometimes when I've been looking at the news, some of the journalists has been saying that I can't believe how these white people with green eyes are basically, going through such a hard time, and, we need to be very empathetic and compassionate towards them. To be honest, I'm really grateful for people being open to, the Ukrainians and helping out them, but there wasn't the same energy, when it came to so many other conflicts and wars that has happened for decades and decades, the Syria conflict, the Iranian conflict, and Afghanistan, and there's so many others like that. And when you see openly people talking about and prioritizing people just because of the skin color and the eyes color, it was very saddening for me to see. And I just hope that kind of love is just, expanded to just all humans, because at the end of the day, we all feel the same things, we all feel the same pain. And it'd be great for us to kind of operate from this place of openness and receptivity. After a few years in the UK, when I was about to turn 18, I worked so hard in my A-levels. I used to wake up sometimes 6:30 so I can get to my college to make it to my lessons. I'd say even those days, English wasn't, my first language, but regardless of the cultural shock I was facing and all the struggles which we were going through, I just put my head down. I did exceptional in my A-levels, and I start questioning what is my status and how, next steps of my career, because it was time for me to apply for universities. My dad told me that, he's going to call the solicitor. When we called the solicitor completely changed his tone. He was like, I didn't say any of this. Who are you guys? And then my dad was like, we've been waiting for 7.5 years. We decided to allocate a day, and then we all went to the office in London. However, once we went to London, we found out that the office has been shut down. He wasn't there. After a few months of calling him, try to chase him up, we randomly receive a call from the solicitor that I am in Birmingham and I want you guys to come and collect your file, but you'll have to pay around 500. My dad he said to me and my brother, go collect the money from someone, because we didn't have that much cash on us, and we literally borrowed that from someone. And that solicitor literally just came, stopped the car, gave us the file, took the money, and just went without any explanation or anything. Because we were in such a vulnerable situation and we felt scared and frightened, we didn't even have the courage to, confront him. We decided to go to one of the solicitors in Birmingham, and after going to him, he kind of explained to us that, the solicitor completely lied to us, and this is a common thing which has been happening, and we found out that the solicitor did that to a lot of other vulnerable individuals, and he didn't apply for any case at all, and all those time we had no application at all. He just essentially ran away with our money, and that fully shook our world. That moment of finding out that it was all a lie, and it was massive to be honest. I feel like that moment fully changed me, because I saw my dad being such a nice person, trying always to go out of his way to help people. It made me see that, this is why you can't trust people. And from then on, it just became that survival, threatened and out of fear that I do need to question everything. Otherwise, what if I get betrayed again? For me, the first thing that popped up to my head was that so does that mean now I can't go to university? And all this fantasy, all these plans I had with my friends about, we're going to do this subject together. We're going to go do go to these uni events, join these societies, join the football team, and have this uni life together. I was just like thinking about that like, you know, I worked so hard to like get these grades. Now all of that might just go to waste again. And to be honest, that was one of the hardest time, I'd say, in my life, because I was just like, come on, man, like I genuinely worked so hard and it was just all taken away from me. And I'd say I lost all my motivation to do anything because, you know, like initially I was saying that I was such a curious person and I just always had this proactive attitude. At that point, I was just like, you know what, there is no point. Literally, there's no point at all. Why should I do anything? And to be honest, I just gave up. I just used to cry. I just used to feel vulnerable. And I just feel sad.
Let's take a break.
I just need a minute and then I'll be back.
It's okay.
It's good that I'm crying it out because probably there is repressed emotions. So when I'm talking about it, it's just coming out, which is good.
Yeah.
So, as an asylum seeker, I'm not eligible to apply for student finance. You know, like people say that, oh, hard work pays off and it's never going to go to waste and like that kind of thing. That is what I was told. But yeah, then I just came to the realization that just because of my immigration status, none of that actually matters. What matters is just how my immigration status affects my identity, it affects my rights, and it was just very suffocating because it was something which was outside of my control.
It's Roxana, a girl with a million dreams, but not being able to fulfill any because of the condition she's in. A captive, waiting for something to happen in her life. It's been nearly 10 years. When I came here, I arrived with passion, with plans to do something. I came here with dreams, with enthusiasm, but in the period of time, I lost many.
I wonder, when did we stop? When did you stop dreaming? When did you stop dreaming of tomorrow? When did your ambitions stop? When did your dreams stop? And when will you know when to start? Will you know where to start? I wonder, are we going to be still the same people who stopped now that we're coming out on the other side? Because it's like going through a tunnel, a dark tunnel. Who are you when you walked in? Who are you when you come out of that dark tunnel?
Every year, regardless of my status, I would still, pay £35 to UCAS and, write my personal statement, just hoping that, this year I might be able to go to University of Leeds, or this year I might be able to go to Queen's Mary, or my status might change and I would be able to finally go to university. However, literally every year, I would take a L, and every year, it would just hit me harder. During those times, I watched one of the Anthony Joshua fight, And after when Anthony Joshua beat Klitschko, in one of his interviews, he said that if I can do it, anyone can do it. And I found that interview very inspiring. I started boxing. I've never did boxing. I had no history in boxing in my life. No, like I kind of like become attuned to my old self again. I had a fight in front of 1,000 people in King Power Stadium where I generated around £7,000 for Cancer Research UK. You know, in my boxing fight, when I was getting hit by that person, it was literally feeling like nothing, because it kind of just resembled one of the defeats I was just taking from Home Office or from my uni scholarships or from all these different, you know, restrictions that was imposed onto me. So I kind of just became numb to it at that point. Then I said to myself, Zain, you are better than all of this, and even though the system is structured in a way where it's marginalizing me, I'm not going to let the system basically dictate my mood. I'm not going to let the system control what I do, why I feel happy. And I was just like, you know what, I can go and do what I can, like even though the system and, you know, the way the law is structured is to like repress me and to isolate me, I'm still going to do what I can to stand up against it. Because I've got like direct first-hand experiences, I can speak other languages, and it'd be nice to, you know, help others and make use of my time. I was volunteering at the Red Cross, and I would come in, you know, deal with some of the clients and going about my day. And I received a call from a private number. Someone from Nottingham Trent University called me, and they said, oh, we've got good news for you. And to be honest, during those days, good news wasn't actually good news. So I was so pessimistic. Like, I was like, oh, okay. And dismissive that, oh, what can that be? Like, and then, oh, they told me that they're willing to offer me a full paid scholarship to go to university. And generally, like, because I was so closed off, it wasn't even landing. I wasn't even like grasping what they were saying. And I literally, I remember I literally made them swear down that this is true. And they actually swore down that, oh no, it's actually true. And then literally I just had tears in my eyes. I couldn't stop crying. I remember going back to my staff, and I just had such a big smile on my face. Literally everyone just got up, they hugged me, and they were just so happy. And I felt like I was with the best people I could be at that time, because those were the people who were like helping me unconditionally, regardless of my status, regardless of what I was bringing to the table. They were just there because they were valuing my intrinsic worth of being a human instead of like an instrumental worth. Uni was just very sick, to be honest, meeting so many people from different cultures, international students, going to parties and different uni events, you know, joining the football team with my friends and making so many connections, learning more about philosophy and global studies. And I just felt like I was at the right place now, finally. And yeah, I was just so grateful that I was finally able to graduate with the first class honours. During those days, obviously, bearing in mind, and I was still living on £35 a week, and I still couldn't afford laptops, so I had to like kind of prioritize, you know, what I can do. Like literally I had to like fully hustle. My friends, they were able to, you know, secure their placements or jobs straight away. However, obviously because I was still going through the asylum process, that meant that, oh, you know, still getting this first class honours doesn't mean nothing because I can't work. I can't use my degree to do anything. So then again, you know, a different struggle, a different obstacles, and like it was just relentless. It would just never stop. Even when you think you've kind of like got some relief, after literally a day or two of relief, like the story of the life of asylum seeker is that it's just relentless.
I live in a process, in a completely frozen process, which doesn't make any sense or any movement to help my life just to progress. All my neighbors know that I'm a asylum seeker, and I think I'm labeled as actually it's not think. I'm completely labeled as asylum seeker, single mom, the strange lady, the lonely lady. So it's given me actually a bad feeling, because I feel I need to just to confess to others I'm a normal person, but my situation is not normal. Yeah, and maybe at that time some of my nicknames will change to better ones. Who knows, maybe I will be like again a teacher or a master student, or yeah, who knows.
When I was going through all of this, I used to just put my headphones in and listen to this track called Experience by Ludovico Einaudi. And it would just put me in this transcendental state, which would help me, just see the world from a peaceful perspective and just appreciate the beauty around me. If living your life is a question, this big open-ended hopefulness about what is possible for you in the world, then just being an asylum seeker answers that question for you, and in a way that can be really restrictive, not just because you can't work or study, but because people will have this preconceived idea of who you are, and that can be very difficult to escape. But I should get to answer the question of my own life.
I'll describe myself as Ngozi.
Hi everyone.
My name is Alvina.
My name is Annie.
I'm Roxana.
Shafi.
My name is Diamond.
I am Niloa Rangel from Venezuela.
This is Rima.
Have you ever wondered, what does it really mean to be you?
I'm also a human rights activist with an organization called Restoration of
Because
Human
I'm a
Rights
very
in Ghana.
family person and I like people around me.
I tried hard just to be involved in many volunteer works and supporting others.
To be honest, yes, I am someone, who graduated with a first class honours in philosophy. I'm working on a nationwide project with MPs to refine our system, and there are other asylum seekers, who are coming from a different walk of life, like me, with so many talents and unique gifts.
I've worked very hard to get to where I was.
We have immense knowledge.
Determined to reach my goal and be able to work as a doctor in the United Kingdom.
However, before all my accolades and titles, you and me are someone who deserves to have respect, dignity and love, regardless of our achievements and titles, sex, nationality and immigration status. I heard politicians say that the system is broken. But what I'd like to say is that the system is breaking us.
I always say this, I don't want to be ungrateful, but the fact is, like the Home Office just holding a remote control, pressing it every now and then. Like the UK is the safest place for me to run to.
But we decide who we are.
I'm a great mother, a dependable friend.
I was somebody very patient, and I always have hope.
I am a terrible singer, but that doesn't matter. I'll be at the back.
I'm not just an asylum seeker.
We have voices, and it's time to listen to them.
I'm not in this alone, and I'm not the only one struggling, so I have to be strong for myself.
They don't want you to give them money. They want you to give them the right to work. Let them make the money themselves and pay back taxes.
They need to give us opportunities for connectivity, education, the right
I choose to challenge the negative stereotypes. I challenge people to think beyond what they see or hear.
Give me the ability to be a human being.
Will empower the public and the government to understand the stories of refugees and asylum seekers and to stand with them, to change the policies.
Now for us to, gather together, stand up for those who are marginalized and, utilize the platform that is given to us to make a positive change.
I want to finish off by a quote of Mahatma Gandhi. The true measure of society can be found how it treats its most vulnerable members. Thank you.
You are going to be free to dream, or free to do, or free to be.
You have been listening to the episode 6 of We Are Voices, produced by me, Zain Hafeez, aka the White Child, aka the Philosopher. You also heard contributions from other producers in the We Are Voices team. Our senior producers are Bridey, Addison-Child and Jude, Shapiro. We Are Voices is an award-winning series that explores life in the UK asylum system. Go and listen to our previous episodes to hear more stories from the team and learn from our lived experience.
We Are Voices was made by the Voices Network in collaboration with the British Red Cross and supported by players of People's Postcode Lottery. The Voices Network is an independent organisation that shares the voices and personal views of refugees and asylum seekers.